Hi, this is Liam from Orange Brackets. Welcome to today's tutorial. If your leadership meetings feel like novels, you are not alone. The goal today is simple. Turn a long transcript into a one-page brief you can trust by 5 p.m. We want clear decisions, real risks, and action items with owners and deadlines. So there's no, I thought someone else had it. We'll use GenAI to do the heavy lifting, and we'll sanity check workload so the plan is actually executable. Let's make those meetings pay off. First, we'll set up our environment and load two things: the meeting transcript and the attendee roster. The transcript gives us who said what and when. The roster gives us names, roles, departments, and emails. We'll take a quick peek to confirm the shape of the data. This helps us design a good prompt and avoid surprises later. Alright, first things first, we bring in .env so we can load environment variables from a .env file and Pandas to handle our data tables. Now we actually load that .env file, so any keys or paths are available without hard coding them. Next, let's read the meeting transcript CSV into a data frame called transcript, a clean, structured table we can explore. I'll load the first attendees file, the A list, so we have the first batch ready. And now the B list, the second batch of attendees to complete the set. Time to combine them. We concatenate A and B into a single attendees table and reset the index so the row numbers are tidy. Quick peek at the top of transcript. Just checking that the file loaded and the columns look right. And a peek at attendees as well, to confirm the stacking worked and the data looks consistent. Great. We've got timestamps, speakers, and text in the transcript, plus a clean roster with roles and emails. Why does this matter? It lets the AI resolve pronouns, like she or legal, into real people with emails. It also helps the model assign owners unambiguously and format deadlines in a consistent way. In short, better inputs lead to a brief you can ship without hand-fixing. Now we'll build a focused prompt and a small LangChain pipeline. Here's where things get interesting. We ask the model to produce a one-page leadership brief with 4 parts: decisions, risks, and dependencies, a tight action list with owner, email, deadline, and priority, and a short list of ambiguities to resolve. We also flag anything tied to revenue or compliance. The output is short, structured, and ready to paste into a weekly plan. First, we bring in 3 LangChain pieces: a chat model wrapper, a prompt builder, and a simple text parser. Everything we need to go from instructions to clean output. Now we start a multi-line prompt template. This is the script we'll hand to the model. We set the role: an operations aid that produces a crisp, one-page brief for leaders. And we anchor it to the meeting notes, so the summary is grounded in what actually happened. Next, an objectives section to steer the model toward what matters. First goal: pull out final decisions and include dates. Leaders care about commitments. Then call out risks and cross-team dependencies, so blockers don't hide. We also want clear action items with owner, deadline, and priority, no vague tasks. And flag anything tied to revenue or compliance, since those are high stakes. Time for context. This frames the brief with the essentials. We'll pass in today's date as a variable, so relative timelines can be computed correctly. We include the attendee roster with roles, handy for resolving pronouns and adding emails. Then we explicitly mark where the raw notes go. This placeholder will be replaced with the full meeting transcript at runtime. Now we define the exact output format: clear, concise, and easy to scan. First section: decisions. What was agreed? By whom? And when? A simple bullet placeholder signals we want tight, to the point entries. Second section: risks and dependencies. Surface anything that could slip the plan. Again, concise bullets keep it readable. Third section: action items. Organized like a table. 1 line per item. We list columns for the task, the owner with email, a normalized deadline, and a priority level. Then dependencies, whether it touches revenue or compliance, and any brief notes. Fourth section: ambiguities. Questions we need to resolve next. Bullets again, prompting the model to be specific about open issues. Rules time. These constraints tighten quality and reduce waffle. We instruct the model to resolve pronouns to real attendee names and include emails from the roster. Ask it to infer sensible priorities, urgent items as P0, near term as P1. Normalize all dates to year, month, day. If a weekday is mentioned, compute it relative to today. Be decisive. Avoid vague TBD when ownership or dates are implied by the notes. And keep the whole thing under about 300 words. Leaders want brevity. That closes the template. Our prompt text is ready to use. We turn the raw template into a prompt object that can be filled with real values. Next, we initialize the chat model using GPT-4o Mini with temperature set to 0 for consistent outputs. Finally, we chain it all together, format the prompt, send it to the model, then pass the reply into plain text. Our chain is ready. Notice the 0 temperature setting. In simple terms, that nudges the model to be consistent and repeatable. Leaders want stable output week to week, not creative rewrites. The template also keeps the model on rails, so the brief is concise and complete. Next, we prepare inputs. We flatten the transcript into a readable block so the model can follow the conversation. We summarize attendees with names, roles, departments, and emails. And we pass today's date. That last piece is important. If the notes say, by next Tuesday, the model can convert it into an actual date. This keeps deadlines uniform across the brief. First, let's import the date helper from Python's datetime module, so we can stamp our results with today's date. Now I'll turn the transcript table into a lightweight stream of rows we can iterate through. Let's format the conversation. For each row, we place the timestamp, the speaker, then the text, and stitch all the lines together with new lines into one clean block. We'll do the same for the attendees table, converted into row objects for easy formatting. Next, we compose a readable roster, name, role with department, and email, joined by semicolons so it reads like a tidy list. Time to bundle everything. The meeting notes, the roster, and today's date converted to a string inside a single inputs dictionary, ready for templates or an API call. And as a quick sanity check, I'll list the dictionary's keys so we can see our 3 fields are in place. Inputs ready. Quick gut check. We have the meeting notes, the attendee roster, and today's date. With this context, the model can resolve owners correctly and keep priorities and deadlines consistent. This is what makes the brief trustworthy. Time to generate the leadership brief. This is the fun part. We'll run the chain and print the result. Look for 3 things: clear decisions with dates, real risks and dependencies, and a clean action list with 1 owner per line. Keep it short, keep it shippable. All right, let's fire the chain with our inputs. This is the moment it actually runs the pipeline. We'll drop whatever it returns into results so we can poke at it right after. Now let's print it out, just to see exactly what came back, and confirm the shape of the output looks right. You should see a tidy 1-pager. Scan it like an executive would. Do the decisions and dates make sense? Are the owners real people with emails? Are revenue and compliance items easy to spot? And if something is fuzzy, it should appear in ambiguities to resolve, so nothing falls through the cracks. Before we publish, let's sanity check workload. We'll visualize how often each attendee is mentioned in actionable language. It's a quick proxy, not a perfect measure of effort, but it's great for spotting surprises. If one person dominates, we may need to rebalance or split tasks. First, let's bring in Python's regular expression tools for smart text matching and Matplotlib's plotting interface so we can chart our results later. Now we'll grab the names from the attendees' data and turn them into a set that gives us each person only once, no duplicates. Let's set up a mentions counter, a dictionary where every name starts at 0. Time to scan the transcript. For each text snippet, we check every name and look for an exact whole word match, using word boundaries and escaping the name so special characters don't cause false hits. When we find one, we increment that person's count. Next, we'll turn the counts dictionary into a Pandas series and sort it in descending order so the most mentioned names float to the top. Finally, we'll take the top 10 and draw a compact bar chart, an easy visual of who gets talked about the most. Use the bar chart as a heat check. If one person spikes, ask why. Critical path? Or accidental overload? If a key function barely appears, are we missing owners or depending on the wrong team? Make small adjustments now so the plan actually sticks once it's sent. Wrap-up time. We took a messy leadership discussion and turned it into a crisp, same-day brief with decisions, risks, and an action list you can trust. We also checked workload to avoid bottlenecks. The next step is to schedule this notebook to run right after each senior meeting so the brief lands by 5 p.m. every time. I'm Liam from Orange Brackets. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.